Laying out your wiring and which wiring kit to potentially go with for your classic Camaro rebuild. Let's get to it. What's going on, guys? Matt over here, Lethal Garage, and today I'm having a relaxing weekend. I took a shower, fluffed hair, no hat. It is what it is. Been working on the classic car, but the biggest thing is wiring. Don't let this scare you. It shouldn't be scary whatsoever. It's very straightforward. There's quite a few wiring kits on the market. Now, for my specific build, I ended up going with the American Auto Wire wiring system. I'll show you the box that it came in. It's a pretty straightforward box. Classic update kit, 70 to 73. They make them for all the different years, all the different wirings. And basically the kit comes with all sorts of craziness. So we had to tap into this kit when we were working on the firewall because we wanted to make sure the fuse block mount, which is right there, was done right and was the right size. So that was kind of open, but it's just a slew of wires. They're zip tied in places. I'm not gonna open this one today because I'm gonna just show you what we have and then talk about why I went with this kit over some of the other ones. And you have a lot of options on the market today. You really do. And there's a ton of things here. And don't let that overwhelm you because honestly, it's all very straightforward and very easy to do. And you saw me show the paper over there on the tool bench because that's literally the map of your entire vehicle highlighting what you need to do. So your primary harness, that's gonna have all the wires going into the engine bay and underneath the dash. As you can see, we don't have a dash and we don't have an engine yet. So I'm not necessarily gonna be working on that today, but this harness here is for the main run to the trunk. And I'm gonna talk about how I'm wrapping it and making it look good. And then these are all the different controls, terminations, in coupling links, all sorts of stuff. There's just a ton of stuff, right? And it seems all kind of crazy, but if you dumb it down and simplify it, so let's just talk about the rear of the car real quick. You could see how the rear of the car is laid out. And I'm gonna turn this light off. There we go. So if you look at how it's laid out here, you have your two left-hand tail lamps, right-hand tail lamps, license plate bulbs, hash markers. You do have your fuel sending unit, your third brake light line, and that's about it for the trunk. So you can watch how it comes over. They show how it's gonna go through the car, and you can see all the color coding that they have page to page. And this is running to the main fuse block. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. So in my instance, I'm gonna be working on the rear. I've been working really hard. I got the whole car dyno matted now, and I know in the last video I posted, you saw me working on it, but I got the rear, I got the front. I started doing here, I'll take this off. You can see it's all done all the way through and good to go. And I've been kind of bending and fitting the cushions in because I did do the mini tub setup so they don't fit normally anymore. Some people will be like, why don't you dynomat that? I chose not to dynomat that for a lot of reasons. You don't have to dynomat everything in the vehicle. There's still more to do, like these panels here will end up doing, the roof will end up doing, etc. But that's at a later time. I just wanted to get this done so I can run the wiring where it's gonna go. And the wiring is gonna run along the door line here. It's gonna go up and over the wheel well and into the trunk, and then we'll tap everything in. One thing I do want to highlight with this kit is it does come with all your ends. So a lot of people who are doing a full resto mod on their car, even like me, I bought the wiring taps for the actual side markers. I bought them for the lights. I bought everything. In reality, I didn't need any of them because this kit comes with all of it. So these are also all the termination points for the rear. Again, don't let this frighten you because you are going to trim and fit all the lines, and you're going to crimp them, and then they're going to seat right into where they need to go. And here's the additional runs here. It's all straightforward, and all of these wiring are highlighted on that layout. Now, when it comes to the wires, they're bare wires, they're exposed. And so I picked up some fabric tape. You can get this on Amazon or any electrical place, but it's a fabric tape. And how can I do this? Let me set the camera down and I'll show you. So what I've done is I've unraveled the main wire, and I'm literally just fabric taping this whole line to look nice and clean. Now, in 99% of the cases, you're never going to see this wiring again. Some people will argue, well, if you have an issue wire, it's going to be really hard to pull it apart. And honestly, if I had an issue wire, I'm probably going to run another wire from the beginning all the way to the end instead of pulling out a wire and then just tape it along this setup. But I'm going to go ahead and finish taping up this whole line. You can see it's just a wiring mess right now, and show you kind of the before and after of what it looks like. Okay, so I laid out the main fuse block. All these wires don't really go there, and I'm not really messing with the main fuse block tonight, but the main thing was I wrapped up the rear harness. So you can see I wrapped it up, I ran it down, and I split off wires. So now I'm gonna wrap all my split offs. So this is for the dome light. This will go up along the side and up to the center of the vehicle. And then the back, it's a little more of a wiring mess, but following this diagram. So if you ever look at a vehicle, you should stand, if you're ever wondering what's left and right, stand at the back side of your vehicle or the driver's seat and identify left is driver's side, right is passenger side. And that's exactly how it's laid out here. So you can see all the different colors. Yellow's going to the outside light, light green going to the inside. So we got all the different colors here. So we're gonna run these along, but the brown is the consistent. So the brown is your, I believe is the 12-volt line, and we can verify that. So if you look at the brown here, this is going to the parking lamp for the Dakota digital. It's going to the ignition switch, and it's going to headlight switch. There you go. This brown wire goes everywhere. Splices into everything. Yeah, so it is a primary, it's your primary power going to all of those areas. And then the individual wires of color are all controlling the individual items. So pretty self-explanatory. The side markers are gonna terminate in ground at their location, so you're not running any sort of ground to there, but it's all pretty straightforward. There's just the crazy parts when you get into all this stuff. So there's there's the engine bulkhead connector and the block, and that's where I'm gonna need help, because I don't know all of this. I'm sure I could figure it out if I sat here for hours and hours on end, and I don't want to do that. And it's already hot and sweaty enough on this evening, so I'm gonna have probably a professional wiring guy come and do all of the main stuff once we get the engine and all that stuff dropped in, and figure out where the MSD box and all that stuff's gonna go. I know a wiring guy that's actually a friend of the painter will come out and probably help this up, make it look great. But I just wanted to show you the kit that I was using, how I started to lay out the wires, my plan on how to make them look nice. Again, I think the fabric tape comes a long way, makes things look way better. The plan is, you can see how I fabric taped it all the way up, and then I started splicing off the lines as needed as they got to the shorter locations. I spliced those out, and now I'll individually wrap these. The light green and the dark green wires will get wrapped together because they're going to come all the way over to this side. So, but the idea is I'm going to run the wires all the way along the side, come up underneath, and then just run the wires that are needed. Now the kit also has the parking lights. These tap into the brown. It comes in with these plugs. So I plugged these all into the right rear reverse lights already, but I still have to wire in the specialty functionality of the lights, which I'm gonna have to do in a separate video. There's just so much to do. It's kind of ridiculous on how much there is to do. Wiring is a monster. And again, if you're not fully understanding wiring, I'm gonna just admit, I am not a wiring guy. I'm just not. I'm not an anything guy. I'm doing this on my own, winging it, text messaging friends going, what do I do? So I'm taking this as a massive learning experience. So if you guys know people who know how to do the wiring and know how to do all that stuff, hit them up, hire them. If they're friends, give them lots of beer and pizza or burgers or whatever. It's worth it. And take it as a learning experience. You know, it might cost you some money, whatever. Take it as a learning experience. I'm gonna dive in and do as much as I can for the build, but I know my limitations and I know I'm gonna need help. So especially when it comes to that monster of a harness up there. There's just so much. Like, if I'm just gonna need someone to be like, you're an idiot, that goes there, this goes there. But I mean, we still have so much to do. We got to get the dome light in, we got to get the whole dash panel in, we got to get the Dakota Digital setup in there, got to get the motor, got to get all the, like, there's just so much. I do have the battery wiring kit, so I can run those cables as well, but there's just a lot to do. So I'm feeling really good where we're at right now, but I'm gonna have to call in some reinforcements on this one. So this wasn't necessarily a guide to help you along anything, more just showing you the American wiring kit, what I'm planning on doing, how I'm wrapping my wires to make them look clean. I'll have to do a separate video once we run all the wiring, and I'll walk you through. I'll just like do the like American wiring kit installed kind of like video, and just show you how we cleaned it all up, zip tied it, wrapped it, looked great. You saw the process I'm taking. It's just a lot of work doing it now on all that other stuff. So that's that. That's where we're at. Thanks for checking out the video. If you guys want to see more content, hit that subscribe button, follow. Let me know what you think in the comments below. How'd you do your wiring? What wiring kit did you go with for your classic rebuild? Post it down below. But until next time, hope to see you guys on the road.